Today we are going to discuss on topic feed and grain storage structures. Why do we need a storage structure for feed and a grain first? Because on farm we have many rearing animals like cattle, goats, sheep, etc. and feed is required for them in a daily basis. For this, we will be having a surplus production of feed, and the feed may be in the form of bran, fodder, or else in the combination of these things. So, whenever we are storing a feed for cattle, it should be stored in an elevated area so that it is not affected by rain or else any other climatic conditions, and also care should be taken so that the storage area is within 15 meters of the shed, so that easy movement of the feed is carried away. It should also be uh, having an adequate space for parking for trucks and transport vehicles in the field, so that the feed is stored and also transported easily. Next, for grain storage, feed and grain storage are similar in matter of storage, as both are stored for consumption purpose, either human or else animal. Now, grain production has been increased from the recent years, and about 60% of the production is stored for consumption purposes, and the 40% is taken for surplus and it is marketed. Among this 60%, we have only 15% of it can be stored through government agencies, and the remaining are stored on farm level. Now, is grain storage structure generally have six criteria it should satisfy. One is it should have an adequate rodent prevention, so that it is not affected by, or else it is not damaged by any insecticide or rodents. And second is that it should prevent moisture entry into the stored product, because the moisture can deteriorate the quality of the stored product. And next is it should have adequate facility to facilitate inspection. It should be economical, or else if affordability may raises and storage of such product may incur us loss. Now, at the present, grain and feed is stored in bags on farm, or else in storage godowns, or and also in farm of the grain is stored in bags and on a platform where it is covered by a polythene sheet, which we call it as a CAP storage, which is cover and plit storage. Now, let's talk about different types of storage structures. First, we'll have a traditional storage structures, and then we'll move on to the modern storage structures. In traditional storage structures, first one is Bukhari type of storage structure. It is a circular type of storage structure which can have a storage capacity of 3.5 to 18 tons, and it is made up of mud and split bamboos, and in combination of this. Now let us see the Bukhari type of storage structure. This is a schematic diagram of a Bukhari type of storage structure. The structure is raised 1.5 centimeter above the ground level, and it has rat proofing cones on all the wooden columns. The structure is circular as we seen, and the structure is made with the help of bamboo splits. These are the bamboo splits joined together, and the gaps are filled with the mud plasting. We can see a mud plasting on the wooden bamboo splits here on the both inside and outer side of the structure. Generally, this mud plasting is done for extent of 5 centimeter, and we have a reinforcement member on the this wooden bamboo split things on all the 4 directions, which extends till, you can see it is extended till the ground surface. So this provides an reinforcement for the structure, and when it helps us in while loading and unloading of grains to this. Second is Kothari type of structure, which is the improved version of Bukhari structures. Now let us see Kothari structure. Kothari type of structure is used in northern parts of India, where the structure is rectangular in shape, and it is raised, it is constructed above 1.5 meters from the ground level, and the side wall of the structure is butt jointed to the platform of the structure, and it is provided with roofing with which is made up of corrugated galvanized steel of 22 gauge, and a rat proofing cone is provided on the columns of the structure, and the storage capacity of this structure is from 3.5 to 18 tons. Now let us see about Morai type of storage structure. Morai is also a circular cylinder storage structure which has a capacity of 3.5 to 18 tons. The floor is made up of wooden planks, and it is the walls are butt jointed, and inside the wall paddy ropes are provided, and it is mud plastered for compaction, and galvanized steel is reinforced on both sides of the wall, which is of 22 gauge, and we can see this wall is butt jointed till the end of our floor, and a rat proofing cone is provided, which and the wood column extends inside the earth till 75 centimeters, so it has a proper it provides reinforcement to the structure. A opening at the top and bottom is provided so as to easily access the grain, and it is closed for and mud plastered. Now let's see about Pusa bin. Pusa bin is an improved type of storage structure which has a capacity of 2 tons or else 4 tons. It is made up of bricks of kacha and burnt bricks, and it has a moisture proofing by the help of 700 gauge plastic sheet which has been laid inside of it. Now let us take a look at the Pusa bin. In Pusa bin, at the top we have there is a opening of 50 into 50 centimeter, so as to accommodate there will be opening at 50 into 50 centimeter, so as to accommodate a person who can get inside the structure and inspect it for any abnormalities. Now there will be a plastic sheet of 700 gauge micron which will be laid inside between the bricks, so that to accommodate prevention of moisture, and there is an outlet provided at the bottom of the structure to easy removal of the stored product. Now let us see about mud bin. Mud bin is made up of using of mud, dung, and also paddy straw, and in combination of these things it has a capacity of 2 to 50 tons, and there is a opening provided at the top of the bin and at the bottom of the bin. The top opening is provided so as to store put the grains into the bin, and at the bottom the bottom outlet is provided for easy output of removal of the grains from this bin, and this type of storage structure is followed in most rural areas of our country. Now let us see about a rectangular bin. Bins are usually provided in a storage structure for where we want to store different types of grains, as we know, because the farmer won't be raising only one particular crop. He will be having more than 1 or 2 crops. In such cases bins are provided inside of a common storage structure, where each bin will be storing different grains. So, and also for easy identification purpose, markings may be done inside the bin. Now let us see a typical cross-sectional view of a rectangular bin. A rectangular bin usually has 2.4 meter distance at the top of it, which comes down to 1.6 meter to the bottom of the wall, and it has provided with the 5 meter of opening at the front, so as to easy accommodation of easy movement of the grains can be. And the rectangular bin has will be having an height of 3 meter and width of 5 meter in general, which can hold grains up to 1 ton capacity. Now let us see about bag storage structure. This is a typical layout of a bag storage structure where 2.4 mm of opening is provided, 2.4 into 4 opening is provided for movement inside the storage structure, and the grains are stored in bags, and then the bags are stacked one above the other inside of the storage structure, and there will be ventilators provided at the center and also at the top of the storage structures, so as to free movement of air can takes place and moisture accumulation of inside the storage bags is prevented. And we have sun head provided, which with of the dimension of 3.6 meters. The walls are made up of the wall is of 50 centimeter in width. The structure is supported with 6 layers of concrete deposition, where the first layer is filled with sand and gravel, and the second layer is filled with stones and pebbles, and the third layer is filled with the concrete, and the ratio of 1:4:3, and the next fifth layer and sixth layer are made up of cement concrete. So this foundation helps in supporting the structure. Now let us see the improved modern storage structures. First we will be having a cylindrical storage structure, RCC structure. Let us have a look at it first. This is a schematic representation of a cylindrical storage structure which has a capacity of 1 ton. The bulk storage structure is provided with a manhole at the top of the structure, so that a person can get in and inspect the structure inside. The structure is made up of reinforced concrete, and it is supported by the column, and the structure is raised from 1.5 meter above the ground level. At the bottom, outlet is provided with an inclination so as to easy removal of grains from the storage structure, and the top is provided with either flat or else inclined roof surfaces, which has so as to accommodate easy removal of rainwater, so it doesn't affect the storage structure. Now the manhole is also provided with an air sealed locks, where once the doors are closed, it ensures air tightness inside the storage structure. The width of this storage structure is 2.4 meter, and the height is kept at 2.75 meters. Generally, this type of structures width will be almost equal to the height of the structures. Now let us have a look at storage structure for a silo. This is schematic representation of a silo storage structure made up of concrete. The structure is supported by columns from the ground level, and the structure has a opening at top and at bottom. At bottom there is an inclined surface towards the outlet. This inclined surface will facilitate easy movement of grain stored inside the structure, and the outlet is having a discharge control, so that the rate of discharge can be controlled here. and the opening is provided so as to load the grains inside of it. The structure is made up of 50 thick wall, and then it is supported with vapor barrier inside on the outside of the structure. This will stop the movement of this will prevent moisture getting in and out of the system, and thus it ensures that the grain moisture is not affected by the climatic conditions outside. And there is thick RCC enforcement outside of the wall, as you can see, and the joints, the top and the bottom openings are sealed with joints as top and bottom joints are sealed with bitumen, and the both openings are provided with gaskets so that it is completely airtight when it is closed condition. For a grain and feed storage, the following are to be noted. For grain and feed storage structures, the following measures are important. One is the storage structure should prevent rodents and insects, pests, and other things entering into the structure and damaging the quality and quantity of the stored product. And second is, it should ensure that moisture doesn't get inside the structure, and then as we know that once the moisture is entered in inside of a structure, it creates dampness, and thus it leads to fungus, and then ultimately our quality of the grains is damaged. And third is, the structure should be crack free, and adequate measures should be taken up to have a periodical check at cracks, and we should ensure that it is the cracks are sealed and the structure is safe. And third is, there should be provision made for fumigation, because when the grains are stored for particular long periods, there are chances of pest infestation. So for fumigation is done to prevent such things, and the structure should support easy inspection, so as a person can look at the stage of the stored grains, and to determine the quality and quality of the grains. The structure should provide proper protection from fire and also other natural calamities, so as the stored grain is not affected by any of this. And also, the structure should be economical, so that it can be easily constructed from locally available materials, and the adaptability is done more. Thank you.